Well, hi, YouTube. So, now it's time to get to the law in Tennessee and why it's so frustrating for people like me not to understand why Candus and Don are not arrested for unrelated charges, um, other than Summer's disappearance. So here is the 2020 Tennessee Code, Title 39, Criminal Offenses, Chapter 15, Offenses Against the Family, Part 4, Children, Section 39 15 401, Child Abuse and Child Neglect or Endangerment. And this is the code in which I was referring to as the low hanging fruit related to their conduct prior to their boys being removed from their home. And I just want to read here for you so you know why it is so important for law enforcement to charge these parents with crimes unrelated to Summer's disappearance. Any person who knowingly, other than by accident means, treats a child under the age of 18 years of age in such a manner as to inflict injury commits a Class A misdemeanor, provided, however, that if the child is 8 years or less, the penalty is a Class D felony. And they had 4 children in there, 2 of which I'm of the belief were under the age of 8 years old. Definitely Summer, but I believe her brother just a little bit older than her was under the age of 8. But they have been committing these types of crimes since these children were the age they were when Summer disappeared. So there's multiple Class D felonies that can be levied upon Don Wells and Candus Bly, including Candace Harer. Any person who knowingly, now we're in Section B, any person who knowingly abuses or neglects a child under the age of 18 years of age so as to adversely affect the child's health and welfare commits a Class A misdemeanor, provided that if the abused or neglected child is 8 years of age or less, the penalty is a Class E felony. C. A parent or custodian of a child 8 years age or less commits child endangerment who knowingly exposes such child to or knowingly fails to protect such child from abuse or neglect resulting in physical injury or imminent danger to the child. 2. Purposes of this subsection C. It defines it. Imminent danger means the existence of any condition or practice that could be reasonably expected to cause death or serious bodily injury. Knowingly means the person knew or should have known upon a reasonable injury that abuse to or neglect of the child would occur, which would result in physical injury to the child. The risk must be of such a nature and degree that the failure to perceive it constitutes a gross deviation from the standard of care that an ordinary parent or legal custodian of a child 8 years of age or less would exercise under all circumstances as viewed from the defendant's standpoint. And C, a parent or custodian means the biological or adopted parent or any person who has legal custody of a child. 3. A violation of subsection C is a Class A misdemeanor. And it continues to go on. But we know good and well, that Allie came out and talked about one of their son's foot getting severed so bad that it needed stitches, and they wrapped it up and took off to another state. This is a violation of this law. They have affidavits to that effect, and they still have done nothing with them. So here is the contention that we, myself included, have with why they're not arrested, why they're not being held accountable for these injustices against their children, their own children. D, any court having reasonable cause to believe that a person is guilty of violating this section shall have the person brought before the court, either by summons or warrant. No arrest warrant or summons shall be issued by any person authorized to issue the warrant or summons, nor shall criminal charges be instituted against the child's parent, guardian, or custodian for violation of subsection A based upon the allegations that unreasonable corporal punishment was administered to the child, unless the affidavit of complaint also contains a copy of the report prepared by law enforcement officials who investigate the allegation, or independent medical verification of injury to the child. At this point, I have to believe that the boys have undergone medical, procedures such as, a physical and checking them. They can easily tell that child had a foot injury that was not properly attended to. That would be constituted as neglect under this code. And again, it does make me wonder why these parents are still able to live a free life without being held accountable for the injuries, neglect, endangerment, and abuse they have committed upon each and every one of their children. Thank you and have a great day.